Good night. Welcome to another episode of Late Night with Boys. Today we'll be talking about addiction. And as you know, addiction is a process that affects the human body, whether it's by substance or behaviors. As you know, we have different types of addiction. We have drug addiction, which is basically like taking the different types of drugs, for example, heroin and such drugs. You all know drugs, right? You're the audience. So we also have prescribed drug addiction. So prescribed drug addiction. This is where your doctor prescribes something but you take too much of it. Welcome back to the break, guys. We're back again with Late Night with Boys, and today we have two psychiatrists speaking to us about addiction, how people can be addicted to drugs, how they can recover, and all this stuff. I'd like to welcome Ms. Bassel and Ms. Turner, two psychiatrists, to give us a brief script or a brief notes on addiction and how we can help. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Turner and Ms. Bassel.
Porn addiction, sex addiction, and drug addiction are the three types of addictions that I want to share with you today. Firstly, we have porn addiction. Porn addiction is basically when a person is too emotionally dependent on pornography, whereas it affects their daily lives and relationships. Signs that person is becoming attached to porn, or it is rather uncontrollable. This is when a person neglects all the responsibilities just to partake in this activity, which is watching pornography. Or you can say a person partakes in the activity and after they feel ashamed or sad about it, but they continue to do it anyway. That is a sign of porn addiction. Some treatments of porn addiction include psychotherapy, or an individual can get counseling on this, whether it be counseling for the relationship or just self-counseling. That can help as well. Now, sex addiction is when a person has an uncontrollable need to perform sexual acts. A person with sex addiction may significantly change their life and activities just to perform these sexual acts. Okay, so this addiction can be treated with cognitive behavioral therapy or inpatient treatment programs. So this will help the persons to basically try to recover from this addiction. So the next addiction is drug addiction. Drug addiction can be defined as a chronic relapsing disorder specified by compelling drug seeking and use despite the consequences. People take drugs for several reasons. People take drugs to feel good, as the drugs produce a sense of pleasure, leaving you feeling confident and powerful about yourself. Drugs tend to make individuals feel better in regarding to people who suffer from social anxiety, people who suffer from depression or stress. So this allows them to feel better while under the influence of drugs. There are several factors that can put you at risk to drug addictions. Factors like being influenced by your peers, or factors like your environment, your home, your family. These are some factors that can put you at risk. Okay, so those were the addictions: drug addiction, porn addiction, and sex addiction. I hope that persons learned something from me today. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Social media addiction, alcohol addiction, and eating disorders are three of the addictions that I will be speaking on today. Firstly, alcohol addiction is also known as alcoholism, and it is said to be a disease. It occurs when the individual has a drive to use alcohol regardless of the unwanted consequences. Being addicted to alcohol, sometimes called being an alcoholic, means that you have a physical dependency on alcohol. There are changes that happen in the brain of someone who drinks a lot of alcohol, which makes them have physical withdrawals if they don't drink. Some withdrawal symptoms can be nausea, having anxiety, insomnia, and lastly, physical discomfort. If you're experiencing dependence, it also means you you need to consume more alcohol to achieve the intended effect. Social media addiction is a behavioral addiction that is defined by being overly concerned about what's going on the internet, on social media, driven by an uncontrollable urge to log on to your social media every day and devoting so much time and effort to social media that it impairs other important life areas. Due to the effect that it has on the brain, social media is addictive both physically and psychologically. If you are worried that someone may be at risk of developing an addiction to social media, ask yourself these 6 questions. Does he or she spend a lot of time thinking about social media or planning to use social media? Does he or she feel an urge to use social media more and more? Does he or she use social media to forget about personal problems? Does he or she often try to reduce use of social media without success? Does he or she become restless or troubled if unable to use social media? Lastly, does he or she use social media so much that it has had a negative impact on his or her job or studies? If you answered yes to more than 3 of these questions, then you may or may not be developing a social media addiction. As a precaution, the person should engage in a digital detox, which is a period of time during which the person significantly reduces the time spent on or abstains from using electronic devices. The digital detox can include simple steps such as turning off the notifications and only checking social media sites once an hour or none at all. While social media has its benefits, using them too frequently can make people feel increasingly unhappy and isolated. These negative emotional reactions are not only produced due to the social pressure of sharing things with others, but also the comparison of material things and lifestyles that these sites promote. Lastly, eating disorders. Eating disorders are a range of psychological conditions that cause unhealthy eating habits to develop. They might start with an obsession with food, body weight, or body shape. There are many types of eating disorders. Some are anorexia, bulimia, pica, and a binge eating disorder.
All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
You feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize
Unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
Listen.
So welcome back from the break, guys, and today we have some special guests joining us. We have Brendan, which is recovering from his addiction. Give a round of applause, please. And today we have Sadiki, Brendan's mom, and Andrika, Brendan's father, joining us. So give them a round of applause. So, hello, Miss Sadiki. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So, feeling better. Oh, okay. So, parents, would you like to explain what do you notice any behavioral changes when you were before you were
I mean, it wasn't so evident to me at first. I'm not gonna lie, I caught on to a few stuff. I would say one time I saw his nose bleeding, like it wasn't so sudden and it wasn't so random. But I have to.
Can you share with us what it was like when you were, addicted to the drugs? What led you to all of this? What was it?
Sometimes my parents would just, stress me out and all of that. So I was just turned to another method of feeling better.
Oh, okay. So, prayer. Explain what you do. Welcome back from another break, guys, and now we'll have Mr. Brendan share his experience on why he started to take drugs. So welcome, Mr. Brendan, once more again. And so, what was it like for you? What led you to doing this? What was it? Was it caused by stress, depression? Did you break up with somebody? What was the situation?
At home, I usually receive a lack of attention, there's usually nobody around to even talk to me sometimes. My parents are always
you're an only child?
I'm an only child, yes.
Okay, so nobody around you to talk to, so that led you to go out on the streets to find friends, even though your parents specifically told you that you should be in bicycling, but sometimes you'll be on the road till 2 a.m. in the morning. So what caused that? Was it because they told you that you should be in the house by 7, you weren't allowed to go to parties? So that's what led you to become stressed and start taking the drugs?
Yes, all those factors, they led me to take the drugs, and then a little bit after taking the drugs, I went into depression.
So did at any point in time after you to talk to your parents about such, or would it even make sense? What would be their reaction? Is it like they would just tell you that no, you cannot change your rules for you, or what? What if you have talked to them? What would you do?
I would try to talk to them, but seeing as they're always working, I wouldn't make enough attention, no time, But when they did talk, it didn't really fix it,
Okay, I understand. So guys, as you can see, we have Mr. Brendan here who will share why he started using the drug. Now Brendan, we would like you to tell us a little about how you felt when you were on the drug. What happened? You were high, honestly you were high all the time, but you could maybe remember a little, just a little things. Just share the experience of what was on.
Just, when I was on the drugs, I always felt this need, like I needed something,
As such as addiction, you need, you constantly wanting something.
Yes, I always had to be doing something, fidgeting, going places. I couldn't be in one spot too long,
Couldn't be in one spot too long. Okay. So thank you guys, and we had Brendan sharing this little piece right here about how he went through the process of being addicted.
Good morning.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah. I like Whitney.
Oh, what's up, man?
Good morning. Good morning. Good night.
Hey, I just want to let you know that Ricky took his life last night.
Welcome back to Late Night with Barks. We're just returning from another break, and now we have a very, very special guest joining us on the show. She's known for her beautiful voice and her famous song. Please give a warm welcome to Demi Lovato. Hello, Demi. Nice to meet you. How are you doing? You look very nice. So, what we're here to talk about today already, our topic for this episode is addiction. And as we know, is this a sensitive topic for the talk about?
It's sensitive, but it's okay.
Yeah. So, you're just, recovery stage after what happened to you a few months now. And so, how have you been doing? Are you okay?
I've been better.
You have been better?
Yeah.
So can you please, how it all started? what led you to college? What?
So it's very hard to say where it really started, but my parents, my father was an alcoholic, so substance abuse came from there.
Okay, I understand that part.
My mom, she used Xanax.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was really growing up.
You
watching that.
were so you basically was influenced by your parents, that's what you're trying to say, or
My mom was abused by my father, and that really put a bridge between my father and I.
so basically it
and
it hindered your relationship with your father. So you and your father were on like bad terms.
we were, and it was sad because he was trying to reach out to me, and
you just shut him out.
yes, and then he was found dead 2 weeks after, so that really put a toll on me. The first time I tried cocaine was at 17, and I was still working on Disney. Yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Other people try cocaine at younger age. And as you're getting better, so
I've been better from the quarantine.
so how did you understand that you had an overdose? Who found you? Who found you?
My overdose, my assistant found me, but the overdose really happened when I was one night with my friends. They were over my house, and I went upstairs and contacted my drug dealer. I was really having withdrawals from heroin, and my symptoms were like diarrhea, muscle pain, cold sweats, and it was crazy. So I needed fentanyl, and when he came over, he gave me heroin, and I overdosed. He deceived me, and I overdosed, and my assistant found me at 11 in the morning. 11 in the morning.
So your assistant, like...
I was blue and naked on the ground.
Oh, wow. So your assistant, that's the time you usually wake up or something like that? Or you usually wake up earlier than that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you for that assistant, or if you wouldn't be here today because, you know, he found you and stuff. So, okay, Debbie.
It's a girl.
Oh, okay.
It's a girl.
Okay, she found you. Okay, so thank you for her answer. Yes, Debbie, so that was a lovely talk to know that you're better now. As we can see, she's doing better. She is looking fine. She's all dressed up, so give her a round of applause for being better and continue to work with the
Every day with depression was a struggle. Day after day, I put up a good fight, but my antidepressant medication could only take me so far. Now, I'm a Neurostar.
Neurostar is an innovative FDA-cleared therapy for depression. Remission was observed in a 6-week clinical trial. It helps activate the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters using a non-invasive magnetic field. Neurostar should not be used in patients with certain metal or devices in or around the head. Neurostar is not a drug, and it's not ECT. It's an easy in-office experience. You're awake during treatment. No effects on memory or sleep were identified in a 6-week clinical trial, and it's covered by most health plans. The most common side effect is temporary pain or discomfort at or near the treatment site. There is a rare risk of seizure. Talk to your doctor if you have worsening depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions.
Become a Neurostar. Visit neurostar.com. Talk to a doctor to see if...
Okay, we're back, guys, from the break. Welcome to Late Night with Bart, and back here again is Brendan and Debbie. So, Brendan, you're in rehab center for quite a while, but more than one rehab center. So, would you like to tell us what your experience was in the rehab center since you were there for like a long time?
At the first rehab center, at the first few weeks, it was quite alright. I was meeting people and talking to people, different specialists, and then there were certain guards there. They were taking set on us. Some of them I would even say beat us. And they would look at us discrimination.
Okay, so guards would beat you. So what about the nurses there and everybody else? Were they okay or were there any problems with them? What was it?
There were certain nurses, they weren't as nice as I think, but some of them, they were really helpful, trying to get them to the stage in their life.
Okay. So what happened? So what really caused you? Because we know that you were transferred to another rehab center because you were having problems. So what really happened? When did this push you to realize that you really needed to change from this rehab center? What was the problem? What did the guards do to you specifically? How were you treated here that made you realize that you had to move from the center?
After the ill treatment, parents they moved me to another rehab center where they were trying to help us. Give us more attention.
Trying to be better, trying to, okay, I understand what you're saying. So, that's where you met Debbie here, famous Debbie, that's where you met her. Okay, so tell me, how did you meet Debbie at the rehab center?
They put us in groups.
So you were in groups with Debbie?
Yes, that's
So,
where I met them.
so what was the first conversation like? How did you guys, so then you would like to tell us how you and Brendan started talking from that rehab center?
Well, you know, we went to a therapy session together.
Okay.
And when we talked about our experiences and realized we kind of had a lot in common.
A lot of information.
So that's where we kind of started, and you know.
Okay, so you guys just developed a relationship from there, friend relationship.
A friendship, yeah.
A friend relationship. Okay, so you did develop a friendship from there.
Developed a friendship.
So did you guys like meet up after or try to hang out sometime or?
After rehab, like after we left the institution, we did like, I reached out to him so we could spend some time together, and it was great. We were both doing fine.
So you guys having the parties or you went to
No.
Okay.
No
parties because yeah. Okay, so
Mostly we talked about each other's story, sharing help.
just to try to keep on that from not going back to you.
Yes, exactly.
So you basically you would be like just business partners. If it, in a sense. Okay, just
Rehab really helped me. Mostly the private sessions with the therapist.
okay, yeah. We know you have a private session because you're a student. Not saying anything, just
I get you, but yeah. So the private sessions really helped me, as well as the sessions with the other patients.
that's how you met them.
Yeah,
because
because
he
we
wasn't
were in
doing
groups.
private.
Yeah.
So
I actually moved from rehab to rehab because I kept relapsing, you know, and yeah. The quarantine really helped me. The COVID restrictions, the COVID quarantine, it really helped me to find myself again and really work on my health, mentally and physically. And I haven't relapsed.
you haven't relapsed since the COVID.
Yeah.
Since quarantine, you haven't relapsed. You are doing good.
For a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, for a few years. So, Brendan and Delvin, it was nice having you today on the show.
No problem.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone here will enjoy it. And we'd like to give them a big round of applause for being on Late Night Watch. So this is the end of the episode on addiction, and our guests here, Demi, Brendan, and Deacon. Some of our guests had to leave for a little bit, so don't worry about that. And guys, I would like to thank you for coming on Late Night Brunch today, and I really enjoyed this having you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be on the show with me, and I would like to show my courtesy by handing out some gifts. So let me get a nice cup with your name on it, and you also receive a phone.
Thank you.
Brendan, you receive a phone as well, and your father receives this back. I give you some appreciation. Again, tune in next time for Day 19 Marks, and we'll see you on the other episode. Thank you.